How are you? Hope you're fine. This is the Shy Yeti Show.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good luck, studio.
Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh, there's gonna be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
I see your mental condition is improving.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Good boy. He's not all that shy is right.
Blimey, Governor. It's the Shy Life Podcast.
Hello,
Quack, quack, quack.
I don't know how he's done it. Excellent.
Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast The Shy Life.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Shy Life Podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How are you doing? I'm all right. Well, what's this episode going to be about? Well, as you know, it's been sort of a birthday time for me, a significant birthday time for me, and I think you've already heard some of the things that I've got up to. But this is an episode that is sort of about my birthday, in that it turns out that I know about this now, so I can tell you. But the regulars were arranging a little thing for me, and Toppie wanted to help, and also it seemed like a very good time for him to meet up with Ozzy. As you know, Toppie's expressed how much he likes Ozzy, but you know, although Toppie still comes over to us and we still go to Pickle Hollow, until we get Ick back, which hopefully will happen in the next few months, we're still in this horrible little hovercraft thing that was a pod that was from that ship, and yeah, it's not a comfortable trip. Anyway, there was problems with Toppie's journey over, and also problems with Ozzy not showing up when he was supposed to. So that's kind of what the episode's about, more than it is about my birthday. You won't hear me very much until the end of the episode, because they kind of got me distracted somewhere else. But yeah, this episode is all about Toppie meeting Ozzy, but Cromitty and Yeti Uncle John trying to divert Toppie's attention from the fact that they don't know if Ozzy's even going to show up, and yet they put him through the horrible journey. So yeah, let's run that theme music, and when you come back, you can see whether Toppie ever did get to meet Ozzy. Anyway, run that theme music.
Darling, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Yes, well, it's a positive thing, Paul. The High Life, the Shy Life.
I'll go anywhere for a potato.
Delicious.
Hello, Catlers. How are you?
You quite like a big bang, don't you, Paul?
Good grief! Well, that's a whopper.
Oh, yippee.
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, I hope he hasn't found out my secret. Do you think he has?
I love the Yeti test. It's my favorite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat my body weight in crisps every day.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
It's all green and yum, 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 yum.
Here comes the grizzly.
It's the Shy Life Podcast.
He can't wait for it to begin.
I like that, yeah.
Look, mommy, I'm famous.
Marvellous. Marvellous, Paul.
Hi there.
Oh dear, where are they? What do you mean, Cromitty? Well, we're expecting Toppie arrival, and yet Ozzy was supposed to be back yesterday. Oh no. Well, I'm sure he'll turn up soon. It's the trouble sending Ozzy off on courier things. You know, we can't afford for him to go like first class. So, I mean, I'm sure Toppie will be here soon. Well, he's later than he's supposed to be. Yeah, I know, but well, we don't want to let him know that we don't know where Ozzy is. That's a good point. Well, At least we got Paul out of the way. Yes. I think I don't know where he's gone. Something to do with a museum or something. Yes, a museum of fish. A museum of fish. Yes. Well, a museum of fish and chips. Well, that makes sense. Oh, the doorbell. Well, that might be one of them. Go and open it. Oh, hello. Oh, Toppie. Toppie.
Yeah. I'm down here. Listen, I don't mind me being tied into a pretzel, but I had to roll from the stupid spaceship to your door, and I think I went through some thistles, and it hurt. And anyways, can you please carry me in because I can't walk?
Get the Uncle John, pick him up. Oh, I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Gently. Gently.
Ow.
Ow. I'm sorry.
Ow.
Just set me down on the chair.
On the sofa.
No, okay, the sofa. Yeah. No, wait a minute. Set me at the kitchen table. I'm hungry. Oh. Look at this. Look at the predicament I'm in. I can't walk. Why is my foot in my face? This is not right. That stupid spaceship.
Oh dear. I'm terribly sorry that you've gone through this.
You don't know the half of it. I think I went around the world and Alpha Centauri like 3 times before we got your stupid door. God.
Oh dear. It's most annoying not having a spaceship.
Once you've seen Alpha Centauri once, it's like, what a bore to go. Anyways, I'm glad to be here, guys, because I know we got a lot of work to do for Paul's birthday, but I really wanted to meet Ozzy too. Where is he?
Well, I've just got to go and fetch him. Actually, I've just got to go and pick him up from his house in the taxi.
Oh, he's not here. Oh,
he'll be here just any minute.
He'll give me a chance to unwind.
Should I go and fetch him, Comedy? Yes, you ought to go and fetch him, Yeti Uncle John. I'll stay with Toppie. I'll go. I'm sure he'll be waiting at the station. I mean, not this station. That's far too close. He's at a station that's further away. Yes, go. Find him.
Right.
Yes, right.
Before you go,
yes.
Just grab my left foot.
Yeah.
And bring it back down around my waist and twist it off the other leg.
Are you sure you won't?
And then bend the foot clockwise. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Be careful with him.
Okay.
Is that better?
That's much better, thank you.
All right. I'll go and fetch Ozzy.
All right.
Yes. Right. Is there anything I need to get from the shops, Comedy? Just some things. I know that may delay you getting back, but it's important that you get those things. Right. Yes. Okay. Just going. Right.
That's great. I'm grateful, Comedy, because I've really been looking forward to meeting Ozzy ever since I first heard him on the show. I said, "Oh my God, I've got to meet Ozzy."
Yes. Well, I do feel a little bit bad. It's been a little bit of a troubling time because, just from the point of view of we're missing Eek really badly, and replacements.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Comedy. I'm sure missing his big old roomy spaceship.
Yes, me too. It's a bit like Paul always says. It's a bit like, what did he say? A bit like the Avengers. Eek is like Emma Peel, and Ozzy is like Tara King, and some people took a while to get used to her. And not you though, not you. It's just been unfortunate that we've had to send him off on so many courier runs. But
I'm looking forward to seeing him when he gets here. So how much I'm not feeling all that great, to be honest with you, so I hope there's not a lot we have to prepare for Paul's birthday.
It's more just talking about the details and maybe wrapping a few little presents. And I just wanted you to be part of the, so you knew what was going on, because as you know, Paul has had so many different little things going on with different friends. And
well, Paul, I mean, he can't just have one thing for his birthday. It's got to be this big production and affair.
Well, I think he's, because he's actually away for his actual birthday back in his hometown. So he's doing things with. So I really felt we needed to do something. But obviously, I mean, that's a few days away yet. But that's why.
A few days? Oh.
No. I mean, we have a few days to prepare. I mean, you don't have to be here the whole time. But what I mean, this might be the last time we get to speak before the actual party, because it's a surprise party.
I got to keep mum's the word. My lips are sealed.
Yes, because Paul is. We managed to get him out of the house today. He's gone to a fish and chip museum with Martin, I believe. So.
Fish and chip museum.
Yes. I think there's going to be lots of fishy smells, but. Paul's just hoping that they have a cafe where you can get new fish and chips for dinner. But
yeah. It's funny, in America, we still call it fish and chips too, even though we decided a long time ago to call them French fries. But if it's fish, we say chips. Is that weird?
Oh, that's strange. That is strange. Yes.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Can I get
cramped? And as a matter of fact, I was about to ask you for some Tylenol or some ibuprofen or whatever's legal here in the UK. I don't know.
Ibuprofen? Yes, we can give you ibuprofen.
All right. Because, you can make meth out of some of that stuff. We do that in America. I don't know if you do that here. Anyway.
No, I'm not sure. Anyway, well, how have you been since? Sorry, I'm just going to put the kettle on.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make you a drink.
Thank you.
And, I'm sure I can find something in the fridge. But
and if you wanted to spike it with something, that would be okay.
Okay. So how have you been since the Robot Big Fatty premiere? I mean, I wasn't able to go to that, of course, because we had a little a break-in here. My lab was trashed, and
oh dear. I heard about that. Well, listen, about Robot Big Fatty, don't tell Paul this, but it's exceedingly obvious that it's a robot, even though Paul seems to think it's so clever and sounds just like Big Fatty, but as we all know, it doesn't, it's obviously not. But anyways, I play along with Paul because he just seems to be so infatuated with the whole thing.
Well, I mean, he was never meant to have such a long lifespan, because it was just a little novelty thing. Because back when we thought there was going to be no more Big Fatty because he was finishing the little show, it was just a little joke, really. You say, oh, well, Big Fatty is gone, but we still have him. But then he kind of became a thing in his own right. And of course, we never lost the real Big Fatty. Yes, because poor old Cuthbert, he was damaged in what happened in the lab. But of course, we have seen you since. I'm talking nonsense. I'm sorry. I forgot you were here when we opened the lab.
Hello.
The whole body swap incident.
That's right. That was weird.
I forgot about that.
Lord.
Everything. Sometimes I think things are out of order, and I forget which order they're really happening.
I know. Well, you should talk to Paul about that. Anyways, go ahead.
Yes. Well, sorry, the kettle's nearly boiled. By the way, do you know much about plumbing?
Plumbing?
Yes, we have a bit of a leaky tap. I just thought whilst we were waiting for Yeti Uncle John to get back.
Oh, well, I guess I think I can move now. I don't know a lot, but I guess I'm willing to look at it. I don't know.
Because we have such trouble getting somebody to come in and do little repair jobs.
Oh, I understand. I'll take a look.
There's actually a sort of faulty switch on one of the light switches in the spare bedroom as well.
A light switch?
Yes, just a little bit. I'm not sure. I hate to get Uncle John involved because I worry that he will blow up the whole flat. But
well, I understand. I think you're wise in that. Well, like I say, I mean, I'm not much of an electrician, but I'll take a look at it. I don't know.
Yeah, yes. Well, I'm sure Ozzy will be here very soon.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. We've told him that you're such a fan. It's really given him added confidence.
Oh, has it? Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Of course. He has been doing some. We kind of hope that eventually he won't have to do the courier work because he has been getting little jobs with Kapow Extermination Company.
Yeah. I just imagine him doing all this courier work with those flat feet. And how does he do it? I don't know. He must have to soak them feet in hot water and Epsom salts all the time.
Oh, yes. I mean, and of course, it's quite hot. He's been to Bulgaria and also been to Australia.
Quack, 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 flop, flop, flop. That's his feet. I love it when he quacks.
My phone's just ringing. Here's your drink.
Thank you.
Here's some biscuits. I'll make you a sandwich in a minute.
He really means cookies. Okay.
Cromitty, is that you? Yes. Have you seen him? Have you found him? Have you been able to get through to him? Oh, I don't know where he is. He's not in his house. I can't see him wandering around anywhere. Oh, it's most confusing. Oh, dear. I wonder...
Hey, Cromedy, I hate to bother you, whoever you're talking to. And, this is great, this drink. But could you just put a little splash more of whatever that... Was it brandy? I don't know what, but just a splash more, okay?
Yes. Here, have the whole bottle.
Oh, thank you. All right.
What's going on? I've had to give him your brandy. What? Yes, well, he keeps asking about when Ozzy is going to arrive. He had such a bad journey here. I can't, I can't bear to tell him that we don't know where Ozzy's got to. Oh, dear.
What's that about Ozzy? Is he here?
On his way.
Good. He's on his way. Okay.
Yes. Do you think you should call Paul? What? We can't tell him that Toppie's here. No, but ask him if he's seen Ozzy. Maybe he went to the museum too. Yeah, but Ozzy wouldn't get himself muddled. He knew that we were supposed to be meeting Toppie today. Well,
I'm trying not to eavesdrop, but if you're telling me that Ozzy went to fish and chips and ate fish, I mean, no, that's true. No, never mind. A duck eating fish is normal. Never mind.
He's vegan. He wouldn't have eaten. He wouldn't be eating fish though. But I don't think he's gone. We're just going to pick him up now.
Was I supposed to hear that? Was I supposed to hear that? I'm some distance away from the phone,
It's fine. Get Uncle John, ring round, find out. Right, I'll do it. You've got to distract Toppie, though. Well, I've already mentioned the leaky tap. I didn't know we had a leaky tap. Oh, well, we don't, but we will do in a minute. Oh, all right. Yes, and also the malfunctioning light in the spare room. I didn't know there was a malfunctioning light. Oh, yes, exactly. Oh, gosh. Why don't you distract him with some of those, would you rather questions? Well, it might have to come to that. But you call around. See if you can find him. Oh, this is most unusual. I'll do all I can. Oh, dear.
Excuse me.
I'll just make you that sandwich. What would you like to eat?
Oh, forget the sandwich. I'm enjoying this drink a lot.
Good. Hi listeners, it's time for some extra material. Now, I didn't want to do a whole episode about this subject, but this episode, this me talking now thing is happening. Oh dear, what's happening to my word speakingness?
And the challenge for you listeners is to put his words back in the sentence.
Yeah. Let me just say, I'm hoping this episode goes out around the 23rd of November, either before, during, or after, but close to it, which is the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. So for our extra material, I found something called the randomizer, which is actually something that was a thing in Doctor Who.
To avoid the Black Guardian.
Yeah, but this is one that just picks random Doctor Who stories for you. For somebody like me who likes to be surprised about what Doctor Who story they might want to watch next, or doesn't want to feel that they've somehow influenced their own choice or something, I'm quite excited by this because I might let the randomizer choose some stories for me. Anyway, what we're going to do is a sort of variation on the random word situation, those episodes, but we're going to do random Doctor Who stories, and Nick and I are just going to sort of make comments whether we like the story. We'll try and give it a little bit of background for those who don't know Doctor Who well but might be curious. So we're going to do this for 10-15 minutes, maybe a couple of times this episode, and this is our nod to the 60th anniversary of the show. So let me get the website out and let's see what the first story is. Right. Oh, the first one that comes up is The Trial of a Time Lord, The Ultimate Foe. It gives a little bit of information, but only a little bit. 2 25-minute episodes starring Colin Baker as the Doctor. First broadcast from Saturday the 29th of November 1986 to Saturday the 6th of December 1986. It's also Colin Baker's last regular appearance in the role, not including the few cameos he's done since. It was, the last 2 parts of that season.
And I worked for too pleasant chap at the time, and in a newsagent, and I remember belting it down the town path to catch. And this is episode 13, but it was the coda of the season. It was the end of the season. I remember being pretty well blown away by some of the revelations, because the Doctor is on trial throughout these episodes, and then in the last 2 it resolves it, and the prosecutor, this is spoilers, I hope you don't mind, but the prosecutor turns out to be a sort of evil incarnation of the Doctor, which I've always liked that idea. Some people have sort of around there, but Michael Jaston is superb as the Valeyard, and that penultimate episode was terrific. Now there's a bit of behind the scenes thing here, because Eric Saywood, as the script editor, was on very bad terms with the producer, because certain things had happened and scripts had fallen through and everything, and they were both rather tempestuous kind of characters, and they had agreed an ending where there was going to be the episode 14, the second one of the 2, where he was going to fall down in the final fight. They were going to, he and the Valeyard, Doctor and the Valeyard were going to fall into a sort of vortex or something, and they weren't quite sure who was going to survive, because they had to shut off the vortex. I thought, that he thought that would be a good cliffhanger to end it on. Whereas the producer, John Nathan Turner, felt that it would be the excuse that the BBC needed to actually finish the show, and wanted a happy ending with everything resolved. And the previous companion, Perry, that was killed off, suddenly that was a lie. She's okay. And he was so disgusted with this, he withdrew his script, and I think had actually left by then. But and he withdrew his script and refused it to be used. Now, I think this is an awful shame, because I think a darker ending would have been much better, and it would have tied the original episode 13 had a lot of continuity points that weren't able to pick up, because they then got Pip and Jane Baker, who were 2 writers who had done previous Doctor Who episodes, to resolve the ending, but they weren't allowed to see the original ending for legal reasons, which meant that episode 4, it had its entertaining moments, but it was a hodgepodge of scenarios, and it really wasn't up to much, unfortunately. But which is a shame because I really like that season.
My memory of that era is that it was probably the nearest I had to sort of being in the wilderness as a fan, not because I didn't like it, but because I don't think knew any Doctor Who fans at this point. I mean, Paul from school was around somewhere, but
we were a few months away from meeting.
Yeah,
we didn't get to know each other for another 18 months or so.
Yeah, I was at that private school that I was at for 2 years, where most of the people in my class were boarders, and presumably didn't get to watch Doctor Who, or just Doctor Who was not. Probably they weren't allowed to watch it because they weren't allowed to watch TV, or at that point maybe wouldn't have been interested anyway. But I had no one to go back and say, "Oh, wasn't Doctor Who interesting, or was it?" It was only when I went to the grammar school the year later, when Sylvester McCoy took over, that I met people like Harry, who was watching, and started to have people to talk to again. And then, of course, that snowballed where I met Danny, and then eventually met Unique, and I ended up sort of really getting into fandom and meeting lots of other fans. But yeah, this was my sort of, in a way, it could have been me on a cliffhanger of fandom. You know, am I going to continue? Am I going to sort of drift? Am I going to kind of drift off to something else because I've got no one to talk to about it?
I'm personally, I mean, possibly because my life was in a better situation than it was with the previous season. I was very trial always brings happy memories, because school was long gone. I was it's gone a year, but I was starting to work. I got my first proper job during the first story of that season, and it was just a pleasure to be able to work and then come home and watch Doctor Who on a Saturday, 25 minutes, and it was back. I mean, they weren't the most scintillating bunch of episodes, but I like them. I get a nice warm feeling when I watch them still. It's just I did think that I think John Nathan Turner should have yielded to that original ending, but far from giving the show giving them a chance. I mean, the BBC would have happily killed off the show at this point anyway, because it wasn't in favour, but far from it would have given that a strong ending to which to have finished. And you know, and also if they were, I don't know when the decision was really made to, well, it's set in their minds that they wanted to get rid of Colin Baker, which unfortunately they did after the end of this story. They sacked him, and I think it would have given a much more convincing scenario for the regeneration we got with rather than the Sylvester one, which was a bit weak.
We should move on to another random story, otherwise.
Ultimate Foe, I like it. It's got a lot of potential, but ultimately, it's because of the internal politics. It got a bit. It ended on a faffy note.
We're jumping on to New Who. You might remember this one. Gridlock, 145-minute episode starring David Tennant as the Doctor. First broadcast on Saturday, 14th of April 2007.
Yes, I do.
That was a season 3 one with Martha.
Yes. In fact, I think Gridlock, because there were certain episodes, because Doctor Who with Tennant went out in spring, around about Easter time, there was always an episode that prefigured Easter. I think, was it that one? Because I think there was one that's usually it usually went out Easter Saturday, but I can't remember. Maybe not. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Gridlock is, I remember it well, it's one of my favourite Russell T Davies episodes, because it's actually, but it was all based on a sort of larger version intergalactic traffic jam, the ultimate traffic jam on the planet that was, you know, kind of people have been stuck there for years. People have lived and died. People have bred families in this traffic jam, and it moved. It just got stuck. I thought that was a cracking idea. There was an attempt to bring back an old monster called Macra, which I thought was a bit half-hearted. I didn't mind it, but it was. I thought, if you're going to bring back something, you know. However, I thought the characters were interesting. I actually, one thumbs up that I don't usually give Russell on this front. As you know, I have certain well, I'm a Christian and I have, kind of certain sensitivities that way. Sometimes Russell can be a bit brusque with that sort of thing, but this one, everybody stops to sing a hymn, just to unite themselves because it's a nice song. I mean, I'm not reading anything else into it, but it was actually showed people with belief in a positive way, and also there's Abide With Me. When the Doctor's lamenting for Gallifrey at the end, which is actually quite a tear-jerking moment, and Tennant really plays it very well. So there's a sensitivity about it, which I think some of Russell's stories perhaps lack, and the Face of Bo, which is another character they brought back, and so a good one. Yeah, some of the sort of dystopian future ones tend to be a bit dodgy, but this one good. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked Martha as
Martha, yes,
companion as well.
Martha was, I think, of the Tennant companions, she was the most likeable. I think I did like Martha. Do you remember Gridlock?
Yeah. You sort of said a lot of what I would have said, but I certainly quite different, and they sort of jump from stranded car to stranded car, so you could sort of see the different characters. Quite an original idea.
But I think what works about it really is the fact that everybody can relate to a traffic jam. So if you crank that up and have a really horrifically big traffic jam, that's something that everyone can identify with. So that was good. That's good. Good.
We've now got The Talons of Weng Chiang, 6 25-minute episodes starring Tom Baker as the Doctor, first broadcast from Saturday 26th of February 1977 to Saturday 2nd of April 1977.
Do you want to start us off on The Talons?
Yeah, this is the last episode, or the last story of season 14, the last Philip Hinchcliffe story. After 3 years, this is sort of the last story of one of the imperial phases of Doctor Who, certainly in fandom, or considered in fandom, or certainly before things changed. The companion is Leela, who joined 2 or 3 stories before. It's very Sherlock Holmesian setting. In fact, the Doctor even dresses almost like Holmes. Set in London. Lots of memorable cliffhangers, scary characters. Some things that are a bit frowned on today, casting-wise. But good story. We were talking about it yesterday when we watched Seeds of Doom. Because not quite as well paced. It's a 6-parter, and not 6-parters would almost like either a 2-parter and a 4-parter, or whereas Talons is a 4-parter with a 2-parter at the end. It's sort of the opposite of Seeds of Doom. So it's sort of it's not quite as paced as well, but it's still a very good story. What are your thoughts?
I like it. I'm well aware that it's very much a fan darling. I don't think it's one of my favourite Hinchcliffe stories, but it's incredibly well produced. And it was this was a particularly sensible era for production values, because they actually thought about what they were going to do before they wrote the script. And Robert Holmes, who I'm a huge admirer of, wrote the script, and he had a lot of fun with it, but he was absolutely exhausted because he'd done so many rewriting and everything. So he was coming to the end of his time as script editor, and so the producer said basically go and enjoy himself. And I think there's a few times when I think he's enjoying himself a bit too much. There's sort of a little bit too. It's quite heavy with Victorian cliche, but it's an exciting enough story. But John Bennett. I'm a bit reluctant to criticise too much about the kind of with the makeup they used to do, but even with someone like myself who isn't particularly a PC punster, there was enough there was enough Oriental actors back then that could have played Lee Sen Chang, the main one. John Bennett, who played him, is an absolutely terrific actor, which was why I think it gets for a lot of fans. They kind of there was someone sort of made up to look Oriental. Oh, that's all right because it's Talons, So as I say, it's a good story. Probably one of my favourites of the season, but not my favourite of the season. And it's just a little bit of an overripe pudding in some places. I love musical stuff, and the villain has an interesting backstory. The actual Wen Chiang had an interesting backstory, but I think the guy playing him, Michael Spice, who did the voice of another character called Morbius the previous season, was a lot more. I was a little bit too over the top, I think. And I like my over the top villains, but there's just a little bit too much seemingly chewed.
The story allows Tom Baker. Well, it allows a sort of Pygmalion sort of subplot, which was going on anyway between him and Leela. But
I think it was a good idea for them to put Leela in some clothes, because it just wouldn't have been done. But I have to say I've never really liked the Doctor dressed up as Sherlock Holmes. I thought that was a bit corny. I think he should have. I think he could have, with his stuff, passed. He could have got away with it.
Although, is he dressing as Sherlock Holmes, or is he just dressing as we think of it as Sherlock Holmes? Or is what Sherlock Holmes dressed as quite typical of the sort of man that he was? I don't know. That's the trouble. I don't know. But to us, it looks like he's dressing as Sherlock Holmes.
I've never been keen on that look for the Doctor in that story. I think he should have. It's like I think put some clothes on Leela. That's fine. But
there's some sweet scenes where some food is made for them, and Leela sits down and she just sort of bites into the meat with it like she would, but then the rest of the diners do the same to make so she doesn't feel left out.
There's some lovely characterisation. I mean, there always is in Robert Holmes' script. The two. The sort of showman and the Doctor who become good friends.
Jago and Lightfoot, they had their own Big Finish spin-off series for many years as well.
Two very superb actors, only one of whom is still with us. But it's a good story, but perhaps a little bit of an over-egged pudding to be on my top level, but still very, very nicely played. Going back to what I was saying. Yeah, the writer actually spoke to the designer. There was some liaise there, and what they got, they never overstretched it, so they couldn't do something they couldn't do. So there was we got the location. We'll get that in, and it developed. So it never looks anything other than superb on the screen.
Paul, is that you? Yes. You should see this museum. It's amazing. The history of fish and chips is so fascinating. Haddock, cod, they've all got very fishy faces. Well, yes, it's because they're fish. Yes, but the shape and size of chips has changed too. If you'd have had fish and chips in 1942, well, you'd have barely had anything because it was all rationing and things like that. Well, around that time anyway. Yes, right. Well, it was the war, wasn't it? I guess they weren't thinking too much about fish and chips then. Yeah. What are you calling about? Just wanted to make sure that Ozzy wasn't with you. Oh, we haven't seen Ozzy. Why? Have you got some work for him? Yes. So some work is called urgent courier work, We're just trying to contact him, and we don't know where he is. I wonder what's happened. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine as long as he's not with you. No, not with us. Anyway, we'll see you. We'll see you soon. We're nearly done at the museum, and we'll come straight back. Oh, Paul, I wouldn't rush your day. I'm sure Martin would like to go for a meal or something.
Hello, Yeti Uncle John. Is that you?
Yes. Do take Paul out for a meal after the museum, won't you?
Me? Oh, yes, I will.
No, well, that'll be great. Well, I'll see you later once we're finished. Yes, Paul, that's great. And if you hear from Ozzy, just let us know. Oh, dear. Bye then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, dear, your finger's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I hardly feel it.
Oh,
I really, you know what? I'm not used to using these tools. But, how did I do? I think I slapped the leak.
Yes, I think you did. And the light switch is a lot better.
You know what, though? I should probably disconnect the water from the switch, the light switch. Don't you think? That's an electrical hazard, I think.
Yes. Do be careful.
Nonsense. I'm perfectly in control. When I came here, I was so achy, and now I feel so nice and loose.
Would you like a coffee? Perhaps you
coffee. With more brandy.
No, not with more brandy, because otherwise you'll fall asleep and you won't see Ozzy when he arrives.
Oh, you're right. I better cool the brandy. I want to. Where is he, anyways?
Did you not? I think when you were doing the work in the kitchen, you missed the call. They're just on their way.
You should have told me.
I really didn't want to interrupt.
Great. It's great.
Perhaps if you. Perhaps it's best that he sleeps.
Ozzy, where are you? Ozzy.
Oh, the phone's going now. Hello?
Darling, it's me, Bettina.
Oh, Bettina. Thank goodness I wasn't sure who it was.
Well, I'm actually calling because we've had the delightful company of Ozzy.
You have? He's supposed to be here.
Yes, darling, I know. And, well, I made the mistake of... it's all my fault. I invited him over for coffee, and I showed him around the garden, and then he saw the little duck pond, and well, old habits die hard, and well, he went for a swim, and obviously then we had to get him dry. He forgot to take his clothes off. He just jumped straight in.
Oh, my goodness. So what, is he on his way?
Yes, darling. Yes. August is bringing him over on the back of his bicycle.
What?
Well, we couldn't find Yeti Uncle John, and he's the only taxi driver I trust.
Oh dear. Well, how long will they be? Toppie's here. He's a little bit worse for wear.
Oh, darling, it shouldn't be much longer.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, maybe if I find something else to distract Toppie, but
yes, darling. I just hope Ozzy doesn't fall off the back of August's bike. It's one of those penny farthings.
Oh no! Please don't let them have an accident. It's the last thing we need.
Oh no, darling. I don't think that'll happen. All right. Just wanted to let you know.
Thank you, Bettina. We've been tearing our hair out trying to find out where he is. I better go. Toppie's waking up.
Goodbye, darling. Goodbye.
Oh my goodness. I'm afraid I have been overserved. I'm sorry I passed out. Gee, boy.
Oh, Toppie. You look a bit better for your rest, anyway.
I think I'm a little sobered up. You shouldn't get me drunk like that, Crummy. Gee.
You just missed. Ozzy was just outside, but they realized they'd forgotten something.
You're kidding me.
No, they're
he was
coming
here.
back. Yes,
he's coming back.
He's coming back. Yes.
Well, it's getting really late. I didn't know I was going to be here this long.
It's fine. I mean, you just rest up. That he'll be here in just a moment. I think.
Oh, you don't have any more fixes for me to do?
No, I do have a little quiz thing though. I thought
a quiz, of course. Yeah, yeah. What is it? What would you rather do or something?
Well,
you don't even know yet, do you? No, that's because Paul's going to put it in later. I know how this thing works.
No. It's actually, I'm going to tell you about some weird words.
Oh,
yes, and you can guess what. I'll say the word, and you can try and guess what it means, and then I'll tell you what it really means.
Tell you what, get me some coffee. I need to sober up just a tad more, and then I think I'll be ready.
All right, but no more brandy in it.
No, for heaven's sake, no.
Okay. I'll just, whilst I'm making the coffee, I'll just call your Uncle John and see how much longer they'll be.
Oh,
yes.
Not too much longer, I hope.
No, I'm sure not.
Really eager to meet Ozzy, you know.
Yes, he's very excited about meeting you.
Hello? Cromitty, what's going on?
We know where Ozzy is, but I think it's best that you come back here because he's on the road, and the last thing I want is for you to run him over.
What are you saying?
Well, no, he's been at Bettina's house. Apparently went for coffee and then ended up in the duck pond. It's a long story. Anyway, August is bringing him over to us on the back of his penny farthing. And really, I know that you and bicycles and things.
Well, I'd be insulted if you weren't correct. Yeah, I guess there is a danger that if I'm on the road, I might accidentally run him over.
Yes, and we can't have that.
Oh dear, I wish I wasn't so predictable. All right, I'll come back. Why don't you get Toppie over to the Magpie Hut? That'll give you a few more minutes. And then when Ozzy arrives, we'll send him to the Magpie Hut. And then that they can just have a hangout together. Because I think it might be kind of nice if they just had them time rather than us all chatting around them. That might be a good idea, yes. Oh, and I talked to Paul. He's at the Fish and Chip Museum, and he was also coming back soon. But I managed to hint to Martin that he should take him for a meal. So, all right. And have you got Toppie, doing stuff? Have you told him more about the party?
Well, sort of, but he got a little bit drunk. He did fix the sink and the light switch.
Oh, right. The two things that weren't actually broken.
Not until I broke them so that he could mend them. Yes, but anyway, I'm making him a coffee, and then I'm going to distract him with a sort of trivia, and then we'll go over to the Magpie Hut, as you say.
Excellent. Right, and I'll try and not run them over in my taxi.
That would be good if you could.
All right, yes, right. Okay, see you soon.
Yes, see you soon. Yes. Oh dear. Toppie, here's your coffee.
Thank you.
Just talking to your Uncle John. He says there'll only be a few more minutes. He suggests that after we've done this trivia, that we should go over to the Magpie Hut because it would be a nice place for you and Ozzy to hang out, and you can really sort of, chat without us getting in the way. Because obviously we still have some more birthday things to do here. And
I forgot about that.
Well, yes, but you've been very helpful, and I have a whole brochure of things that you can take away with you too, and things that will make sense. But anyway, let me give you some weird words whilst you drink your coffee.
All right, I'm ready.
Can you guess what adivism is? ADEVISM.
That's when it's a sometimes chronic condition when you can't help but add things up all the time. Like, like if you spilled Bryce on the floor, you'd like go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and like 2 hours later you'd be done counting. That's atavism.
It's close, but actually it's the denial of gods of mythology and legend. I don't know whether you're denying them, who you're denying them to. But I think it's also the version you said as well. It's that is what you said, or it's this. Yes.
Okay.
So you're partly right. It's just
okay.
It has
so
meanings.
All right. I got.
Yeah,
half,
you get
right.
1 point. You get
right. Ding. I put in a ding sound.
What about bavardage? BAVARDAGE. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. So that's when you just don't want to hop in the tub. You dodge that bath. And every time someone says, you really could use a bath, you say, whoopsie, someone stole my tub. Or otherwise, you just dodge the bath altogether.
That's one of the meanings. It's another one with an extra meaning. It also means chattering prattle, like what we do on the Shy Life podcast.
You guys sure do. Okay, I did not know that.
No, let me try you with this one. Dragonade. That's like dragon and then NADE. So it's not a type of lemonade made of dragons. Before you say anything.
Dragonade. Well, that's when you are so, and I can relate to this. You're so hungover, you're just dragging your aid all over the place, because you're just like, whoa, hungover, and you're just dragging,
Well, that is one of the meanings. The other one is persecution by military means.
Oh.
Yes.
Huh. You guys in the UK certainly have a way with words.
Yes. Let me give you a couple more. Heterotropic.
Oh, well, that's part of the LGBTQH tropic things. It's a new edition, and it's especially for gay, lesbians, and trans people in the tropics.
Yes, you're right. But it also has a secondary meaning of squinting.
What?
Yes.
How do you get squinting out of that?
I don't know. I'm just reading it off his website.
Okay.
The last one is, oh dear, otorhinolaryngologic. No.
Oh, good Lord. Try again.
I'll do it in bits.
Okay.
Otorhinolaryngology. Otorhinolaryngology.
Oh my God. Oh, I hope you never get that. No, Crummy, seriously, that's when you automatically get a rhino stuck in your throat, and it is not pleasant at all.
Yes, that is true. It is also the study of ear, nose, and throat.
Oh, I was close.
Obviously, with rhinos stuck in there, though, as the main cause of the problem. Yes.
By the way, how do you tell if you've had a rhino in your? This is a riddle. How do you tell if you've had a rhino in your throat? It leaves footprints on your tongue.
Oh, that is a scientific fact. Yes.
Oh my God, I am such a caution, Cromedy, aren't I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Toppie, oh no. Oh, Toppie, your phone is ringing. It is Paul. So you have to pretend you're not in the house.
Oh. What am I supposed to do? Am I back in my apartment?
Yes, you're back in your apartment.
Okay, good Lord. I hope I don't flub this up. Hello?
Hi, Toppie, it's me, Paul.
Hey, don't mind me. I was just feeding my chickens in my apartment in Pickle Hollow, which is in America.
Oh, I wish you were over here because
I do too. Really,
yeah, I'm at a fish and chip museum. Yeah.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Say hello to Arthur Treachers for me. We have them in America, which is where I am.
Yes. Oh, well, I hope we're going to get to meet up soon because well, it's my significant birthday. I've got a lot of things actually planned on the actual weekend, but
I'm sure
we can arrange. I'm sure we can arrange to meet up.
Okay, Paul, I should be used to this, the way you do your podcast. But to be honest with you, I have been waiting forever now to see Ozzy because that's why I'm here. I mean, and I haven't seen him yet, and it's almost time. Oh, wait a minute! I'm in America. I was delirious for a second.
We'll get you over sometime.
Yeah, someday I'll come over and meet Ozzy. That's what I meant.
Unless we can think of a reason to send Ozzy over to Pickle Hollow, but
there's always a reason. Yeah, because Pickle Hollow is here, and you're there, and I'm not anywhere there. I'm here.
Is Aunt Toppie with you?
Well, she had to run. Because she's a busy gal, so no.
Oh well. Do you mind if when it's my birthday? Do you mind if I call you up and tell you how I'm doing? I want to share my adventures with you.
Yeah, of course, Paul, of course.
I'll be doing a show and everything, but
I'm sure you will.
I don't know because the listeners may have already heard that episode by the time this episode goes out.
I don't know
because the Fish and Chip Museum episode is not as exciting as my actual birthday.
No, of course not. Arthur Treacher's. No, of course not. Anyways,
well,
look at it's a nice shiny day here in Pickle Hollow.
All right. Well, I'll let you go. And,
okay.
I'll speak to you soon.
All right, I got to go feed my chickens here in my apartment in Pickle Hollow in America.
Give them some seed from me.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God! Do you think I fooled him? Oh, I was so nervous.
Yes. No. You were fine.
Okay. Good.
Right. I think that's enough long words. So let's go over to the Magpie Hut because I'm sure Ozzy will be here any time now.
Okay, at Magpies, meet Ozzy. Now we're cooking. Yeah.
Let's go and do that.
Okay.
Right. Oh dear. Our next story is The Ambassadors of Death. 7 25-minute episodes starring John Pertwee as the Doctor, first broadcast from Saturday 21st of March 1970 to Saturday 2nd of May 1970. It's the penultimate story of that season, John Pertwee's first season in colour. Always had a bit of a mystique that season to us fans back in the late 80s, early 90s, partly because the stories weren't that easy to come by, although we came by them eventually. I mean, obviously, we came by them via fan circles before they were officially released. But
I think with the exception of Spearhead from Space, which is the first one of the season, they were all in rather kind of missing, some of them was missing colour, some of them, what was... The copies they had left of the BBC really weren't in a very good condition.
No.
And I think they were sort of taped off the air or something from America.
Even though the title sequence is similar to the title sequence for the first 4 seasons of Pertwee, they did different things, tried different things. The way that the title zoomed in, or
because you've got Ambassadors and then Of Death sort of joins it later.
I mean, I think they decided after this series, after the season, to sort of simplify a bit, but just little things like that were very exciting to me. That there were differences, and also it's features a companion, Liz Shaw, who it's the only season that she ever did, and it's
I have to say, I remember your first copy of it, and on the video you had a label that said The Ambassadors, and then in slimy writing going downwards, going, "Oh dear."
It's probably my least favourite of the 4 stories that year, but I remember being quite fascinated because the aliens are sort of inside spacesuits, but there is a scene where you do get to see what they look like without their suits, well, without their helmets on. And I remember being quite fascinated by that, because it wasn't, you very rarely saw a photo, and also I think perhaps the first copy we had, it wasn't very good quality, so I was always quite fascinated. I wanted to see a good quality picture of
I have to say also that scene is very frighteningly directed. The late Michael Ferguson directed it, and he had a very, very stylistic approach, because you got a close-up of the ambassador, you got a close-up of the alien, you got a close-up of this Shaw the Doctor's assistant, you got another close-up, another close-up, and suddenly, boom, the horrible face is there. And it's actually really very, very well directed, that scene.
I like the there's a good cliffhanger where Liz is trying to get away along a like a weir, and away from some baddies, and slips in, and that was a very Sutton Park type cliffhanger, although we couldn't afford an inn.
You had something in, well, you've still got something in Cheltenham.
Yeah, there's a small waterfall and a weir type thing near where I live. We had filmed, and we did. I think one of the characters was supposedly did fall off, and Andy's character fell off and went missing, and then came back for Filthy Luke, the man from the merchandising store. Wasn't Caroline John pregnant when she did?
Was. Yeah, she was doing all that running around.
Yeah, because she didn't.
She didn't want to. She didn't want to lose her job, so she didn't tell anyone she was pregnant. And I think it was a few people, select people, she told. It doesn't sound like she was treated all that well on the show, because she had to. I don't think she had a driving license at the time. She had to drive a car, and she sort of, they were kind of a bit. But for me, Ambassadors is, I think, is one of those slow burn stories, in that, it's always I've always enjoyed seeing it, but it's kind of risen up the ranks a bit. I think it's probably my second favourite of the season now. One thing I like is a lot of intrigue and a lot of spy stuff and a lot of court intrigue, and there's plenty of that in here. It's actually a very grown-up story. I mean, you could remake it now, and it would actually be, although there's some adult stuff in Who these days, it's still a bit of there's still a lightness about it that is a little bit gimmicky. But with this, there's good solid drama, and there's a very, very good fight scenes. There's a fight scene there's a shootout in a warehouse, which could have been the Sweeney. It was really well done. Good guest cast. There's a particularly good henchman called Regan, who's who kind of does a lot on his own. He's just not just a boss kind of henchman. He's got a mind of his own, and he works things out. It was actually written initially by David Whittaker, who'd done a lot of the 60s ones, but rewritten a lot by Malcolm Hogg, who was just sort of coming into his own, and again by Trevor Ray. And it's one of my little party games, I think, is to myself is trying to identify who wrote what, because some of the characters are very Malcolm Hogg, and some of them are very David Whittaker, but not in that order. I think the later character Regan is very David Whittaker, and yet David Whittaker wrote the earlier ones. I don't know if there's an eminence from that, but little things like that fascinate me. But I like the fact that ultimately, again, we've got some spoilers here, the ambassadors turn out to be goodies, and it's the humans that are the baddies. It's a little bit more of, there's another story called Inferno that's very, very exciting, but this one's a little bit better structured, and it's 7 episodes. It's a little bit long, but it's a little bit more sophisticated than Inferno, but a little bit more going for it. But what was the other thing I was going to say? I can't remember. I remember one little anecdote though. When we first had a copy of it, I was trying to get hold of Warren, because he was going to return some tapes, and I hadn't seen him socially for a while. And this was the one thing that got him out of hiding. He was busy working at the time, and I got Ambassador Death, and suddenly he was there at my house. I got you now.
We better move on. We have no hope whatsoever of, as I say, we're using the randomizer, so I apologise. I kind of apologise and don't apologise that we're getting a lot of classic Who here. We have, but we can't possibly do 13 stories anyway. Well, so we'll just forge on with what the randomizer picks for us. And next up, we have Dragonfire. 3 25-minute episodes starring Sylvester McCoy as the Doctor. First broadcast from Monday 23rd of November 1987 to Monday 7th of December 1987. Dragonfire was the fourth and final story of season 24. Sylvester McCoy's first season. Not that long after The Ultimate Foe. It introduces a new character called Ace, who became his companion for the rest of his time on the show, and who still, it was at time of recording, appeared in Power of the Doctor, the most recently screened Doctor Who story. And for me, it was I hadn't been that sure about the stories before. It was a bit of a troubled season with them having to do scripts that had been written for Colin. People were finding their feet. And I wasn't keen on Mel, the companion, played by Bonnie Langford. But Dragonfire was my favourite story of that season. It was set on an ice world, but it was a studio-bound story, which I'm never that happy when it's studio-bound. I like a bit of outside broadcasting. But yeah, it was my favourite story of the season. But in a way, in any other season, it probably wouldn't have been anywhere near the top. But I did enjoy it, and then subsequently, season 25 and 26 continued with pretty strongly, and it was also the time I was beginning to meet by season 25, I was meeting more fans, and I was getting into fandom, and so I have a fondness for the show. It's one of my favourite eras, partly because it became more than just about the show. It came about being sociable, and the Sylvester and Sophie era was a very positive one for me, and I think is remembered fondly by quite a lot of fans, and fans who were younger than me at the time, as well as fans who were perhaps a little bit older as well. But what do you think, Nick?
I like Dragonfire. I actually rewatched it because I've got the Blu-ray of that season 24 earlier this year, and watched the whole lot. To be honest, I'm slightly more tipped to 24 than 25. I felt 25 sold out rather because Sylvester McCoy's best era for me personally was because it was very experimental and quirky, and it was trying out the form a bit. I wasn't too keen on bringing back old monsters, but this season I think, although it was a little bit too silly here and there, and Time of the Rani, but the first story was pretty awful and had nothing to do with it was commissioned by the producer. It had nothing to do with any script editor whatsoever. But by the time Dragonfire, I quite liked the previous two. Well, Delta and the Bandmen, which is the previous story, was my favourite of that season. But Dragonfire, very healthy second. It really was hitting a stride now with the new style, and it was a completely different style to the previous Doctor Who. And Dragonfire was a nice, solid adventure story with a good baddie, as it were. A nice baddie. Baddies got to have collateral damage. You've got to see what they can do and see the suffering they're causing. Otherwise, they're just not going to work. And they've got to have a backstory. Kane has both, which is a nice concept. Patricia Quinn from Rocky Horror. She was a nice character in it, and a nice twist at the end. It written by Ian Briggs, who this is his first script of this season, for Doctor Who, and he went on to do Curse of Fenric, which is one of the McCoy greats. And yes, it was a nice setting. I rewatched, and I think there's only one scene really where the studio-y bit really does go clunk, but fortunately they actually cut it out. There's a scene. Having said that about returning old characters, one character that really did work when they returned was Glitz, which is the intergalactic comman played by Tony Selby, and I actually think he works extremely
who had been last seen in The Ultimate Foe.
Indeed. Two other memories of Dragonfire was it was the last story I actually recorded on audio, because we're still a year away from getting a video recorder, and this sounds crazy by 1987, but my parents were quite old-fashioned about this, how they use the money, and I was always recording the show on audio, but it was this. I got a different tape recorder for this story, and we had a different telly as well. We had a small teletext telly, and I actually was able to connect. I think, if I'm remembering rightly, I was able to connect up at the back and record it directly for the first time ever, and ironically the last time ever. So we were able to talk whilst we were, and at the end, we.
It was the last story before I started videoing it.
Yeah,
I had a video by beginning of season 25.
That's right. We both began videoing at the same time. I think Danny, who started videoing Trial.
Yeah,
I think he started with Trial.
I remember, and
he started with season 24.
I remember Andy of Andy Ching, who's been on the show. He started videoing about season 24 as well, and I remember him being sort of one of the first things I asked for when we started swapping videos was season 24, and I remember him being sort of surprised because he knew I didn't like it that much, but I think he was partly excited though to have episodes that were so recent.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that's why.
I think I got my first copies of season 24 from Danny, I think.
The funny thing about season 24 is, despite it being a bit of a Marmite season, it's not universally disliked. In fact, I know some people who would die at the stake for time in the Rani. So there's a big fan following for a lot of these stories of that season. So
I think that's very much. I think probably people have come to appreciate it a little bit more. I think there was some. I think it was more. It wasn't so much the scripts, but some of the artistic decisions I think were probably a bit dodgy. I really like Delta and the Bannermen. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think people have grown. That's grown on people. I like Paradise Towers. I think is a great script that's let down by silly playing. I think it's just a little bit too.
I always said that
if it had played much darker,
if they'd have said, think of it as a Joe Orton script or something.
Exactly. If they'd done that, so in a way, it was a missed opportunity. So I regret that, but it doesn't. For me, it doesn't completely spoil the story. I have to be in the right mood for Paradise Towers, but anyway, it's right.
I mean, I like murderous old ladies, so that's a positive.
They could have actually been a bit more arch and dialed it back a bit, but there's so many. I think what wins me over with that is there's so many good ideas. But it wouldn't. Dragonfire, I think it's a much more straight drama.
Yeah.
And I think those last two stories, the baddies. By contrast from Richard Briers, the baddies were played completely straight, and that's what works for those last two stories. So, thumbs up for Dragonfire. I'm rewatching it recently. Yeah, it's sort of 3 episodes. It's rather neat.
Hi listeners. I'm at the Fish and Chip Museum in London. It's full of fish and chips, although you can't eat them because they're behind glass. Although I'm hoping that we can have fish and chips, real fish and chips, once we're done. But yeah, Martin's with me, aren't you, Martin?
I am with you. The smells are marvellous.
Yeah, they've piped the history of fish and chips, not only visually but the smells, because apparently fish and chips smelled quite different back in the 1950s than now, and I think it's something to do with what was in the batter, and also the vinegar. Vinegar was slightly different. 60s vinegar was a bit trippy.
Yes, I think they might have put something in it.
Oh well, it's the 60s. All that sort of thing used to happen.
Indeed.
Anyway, we're just going to the gift shop. I'm going to buy a key ring, which is like some fish and chips, and maybe a postcard of some fish and chips, maybe a tea towel with some fish and chips, and maybe a baseball cap which is shaped like some fish and chips.
Sounds a good idea for the ball.
Anyway, I'm sure that you would like to hear more, listeners, but more in a bit.
Oh yeah. Fish and chips.
Exactly. Right. Here we have the magpie hut.
Yeah.
Toppie.
Yeah, Cromedy. You know that I love Yeti Uncle John, and you know that I adore his magpies, right?
Yes.
But even it's been 2 hours, and yes, I've had fun listening to your magpies. And they just seem to be getting quite angry and it's just that even I, after 2 hours, where is that duck?
I'm here. It's me, Ozzy. Quack, quack, quack. Oh, Ozzy. Uncle John, what are you doing? Shut up. I'll tell you what's happened later.
Ozzy.
Quack, quack. Quack, quack, quack.
Ozzy, you are not what I expected at all.
Sorry, I'm late.
You're so hairy. That's not feathers.
Quack. I'm sorry, I'm later than I was expecting to be.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm glad. I've been waiting forever to meet you. Wait a minute.
Quack.
Comedy.
Quack.
Yeti Uncle John.
Quack.
You're not the duck.
Quack.
Did you really think? Oh, now I'm getting just a little peeved. Where's Ozzy? Why are you pretending to be Ozzy? Why isn't Ozzy here?
All right. It was a bit unfortunate. Probably, I'm going to have to tell him the full story.
Yeah, full story, please.
Toppie, we didn't want to disappoint you. Ozzy was supposed to be back yesterday, and yet we couldn't get through to him. He's been on a career trip, but he's back in the country. But we couldn't get hold of him. But you guys knew I was coming to see Ozzy. Yes, exactly, and then we heard how bad your trip had been, that we felt bad, that but it was kind of difficult to know what to do. Anyway, we did, whilst you were having your nap, we did find out where he was. He was at Bettina's house.
Bettina's house?
But he'd left Bettina's house. He ended up in the duck pond because,
duck pond?
Yes. Anyway, August was bringing him here on the back of his what's it called, penny farthing bike.
Penny farthing bike.
And then what happened, dear Uncle John?
Yeah.
There's been a problem with a flock of seagulls.
A flock of seagulls.
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I'm starting to get the picture here. Ozzy doesn't want to meet me, does he?
No.
I think that's probably what it is. You know what? Listen, if that's the case, then I think, I have a podcast I should get back to. And you know what? If he doesn't want to meet me, then, well, maybe I don't want to meet him. I'm sorry I came now.
No, Toppie.
This is the way things happen on Paul. No, I'm just, I'm bordering on being highly insulted.
It's nothing personal.
No. He doesn't want to meet me.
Oh,
no, you could try to make all the excuses, but it's obvious to me. He doesn't want to meet me. No, stop that. You're not a duck. Gee. Okay, you guys, you know what? I'm ready to get into that stupid, idiotic spaceship. And I might as well go, because obviously he doesn't want to meet me, and I don't know what the deal is. I'm a little disappointed in this whole thing. As a matter of fact, Paul could have just told me this from the beginning.
No, not the case. Not true. The Shy Life podcast. Things like this happen all the time.
What I'm saying.
I mean, Ozzy's very flattered. He thinks that most people don't like him. So when he heard that you did like him, he was very keen to see you.
I'm not sure. I think this is a story. I think you're conjuring.
Oh.
Yeah, John, do you know that I had to sit through 2 hours of stupid trivia questions about stupid... You know what? And I had to fix your light and connect your thing to the light. Anyway...
They weren't even broken either.
Oh, for God's sake.
I mean, they were broken. I broke them. But to delay things, that's how stupid the whole thing is.
Well, now that you finally said something right, the whole thing is stupid. Look, I'm sorry. I gotta go. When Paul gets a chance, have him call me, okay? Listen, I hate to leave in this state, but I really have to say, I'm shocked. Shocked? No, I'm gonna go.
You've missed that.
Hey, bye.
Quack.
No, forget about that. Oh my God, I'm going.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah. Exactly. Oh dear.
Did I tell you I'm going yet? I'm going.
Oh, quack. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's me, Ozzy. Where's Toppie? Quack.
Oh, Ozzy, why are you covered in seagull poo? Oh yeah, stop. Is it the latest fashion?
No, quack. Where's Toppie Smellie?
Oh, you had to go. Oh dear. Well, listeners, I really don't know what's been going on in this episode, but other than what I've been recording about the fish and chip museum. But I imagine there's been other things going on that have been very exciting. Well, of course, I am lying. I'm recording this bit a while after what you heard happening in this episode. So I do now know what was going on because, oh dear, it's almost unfortunate. Yes. I know all about the surprise party because it's happened at time of talking. I know about Toppie coming over, and I know about the problems about him meeting with Ozzy, and that's really got to be sorted as well. But anyway, that's all we've got time for. We do have two little bits at the end of the episode, of course. One that was recorded at the little party they did throw me a few weeks later, or a few days later, whatever. Unfortunately, Ozzy couldn't be at that party because he was on a courier trip. So anyway, I mean, I think we've sort of, because it was my birthday, Toppie was, he was back on good form. But yeah, I do need to have a word with him about rescheduling his visit so that he can meet Ozzy. Because anyway, you'll hear those bits after the end of the music. But yeah, so that is all we've got time for. You take care. We've got lots of episodes left to share with you before the end of the year. So yeah, all right. We'll get this all sorted out, and I promise we will go and rescue Ick at some point as well. We really will. We will. I promise. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Happy birthday to me, Toppie, again.
Yeah, happy birthday again. I think that's okay. I've been keeping track. That's the 314th time I've wished you happy birthday. But
yeah,
happy birthday again. 315.
I'm completely confused because I think, because I spoke to you on my actual birthday, and I didn't know that you'd been prepared. You've been involved in this surprise party because it's a surprise.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know about it.
Preparing for it was a big surprise to me too, but that's another story for another time.
I should try and do a speech, but I don't think I can get the words right.
You've been overserved. I know the feeling.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Happy birthday, 316.
Yeah, it's a shame that not everybody could be at this party.
Tell me about it. Anyways, I'm over it. I'm over it. Listen, I know not everybody, loves me, and I'm happy to be here at your party, but it's so obvious about that duck.
I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Wasn't this when I was at the fish and chip thing?
Yeah, I recall.
I didn't know anything.
The museum with the fish and chips behind glass.
I even rung you up and you pulled the wool over my eyes because you didn't want me to know that you were here.
Yeah, well, I remember.
Happy birthday.
Anyways, happy birthday, 317.
Yeah, I was quite surprised when Bettina popped out of the cake.
We all were.
To be fair, I was kind of hoping for something a little different, but never mind. It was a nice surprise.
You and me both down. Boy, you know what? Yes, go ahead.
No,
I know you've been. Listen, I sure hope that your birthday 2 months is nearing an end. Is it?
I think there's just one meal to come.
Oh,
maybe.
One more meal? Okay.
Yeah, this is the one we pulled from school at the restaurant.
Oh, okay. The what?
The restaurant. The Rules restaurant.
Restaurant. Oh, restaurant. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, have some coffee before you go on.
Thank you.
What? Huh? Oh, look at him. He's exhausted and drunk. Well, you know what? I think all's well that ends well. On this massive, ridiculously long birthday show. And folks, seeing as how Paul's a little out of commission, well, I'll just take the liberty to sign off again. But you can be sure we'll be back in about 30 seconds with another, end, because this isn't the end, although it sounds like it. But then he's going to come on again, and there'll be another ending. Listen, I know my way around. And anyway, look at Paul. He's terribly drunk.
I gotta go now. Bye. Gotta go. Bye.
Goodbye.
It's been good, but definitely time to come home now.
Goodbye. Yes, goodbye.
Wow. Really? No kidding.
This show is part of the Pride 48 Network. find more shows over at pride48.com.
What's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice. I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice. We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
That is so cringe, oh my god.
You're a man of culture as well.
Paul, did you have a good birthday party? I mean, this particular birthday party. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for arranging it. Gosh, I seem to be having one birthday thing after another. But I hope this one was as good as the one you had on your actual birthday. Oh yes, it was. Completely different set of friends, and absolutely marvellous. And yeah, I was a little bit worried about Toppie though. You know, that whole thing with Ozzy, it worries me. You know, I don't want Toppie thinking that Ozzy didn't want to meet him. I just guess he doesn't fully understand quite how much of a how much trouble Ozzy gets into. Yes, I know. He took it personally. But anyway, I think I'm going to call him before the end of the episode. I'm going to call him Toppie. Yes, I'm going to arrange a little surprise for Toppie. I need to smooth this out. Oh, Paul, you should just be resting after all these parties. I know. You did like the party. Guess comedy, I loved the party. Listeners, the gang threw a wonderful cocktail party for me. A surprise. It was wonderful. It was at the music school, and so many people were there. It was fantastic. Even though it wasn't on my birthday, it was still, you know, it's an absolute treat. Oh, Paul, I'm so glad. Oh gosh. Well, thank you, Cromitty, and thank you to everybody who helped. I'm sorry things got rather confusing when you were organising it with the whole Toppie and Ozzy thing, but don't you worry, I'm going to sort things out. I'm going to make sure those two get to meet up like they intended. That would be fantastic, Paul. Oh, I just hope you can sort it out. I will. It's my mission. I'm going to make sure those two become firm friends. Not Paul.
Oh, kitty, kitty, Deely. Purr, kitty, kitty, kitty. Oh, I love Deely. God, is this show going to end anytime soon?
Hello,
it's me, Paul.
Oh, Paul, listen, if it's about your birthday again, you know.
No.
Happy birthday. I don't know what you want me to say.
No, thank you.
Oh, okay.
I've got somebody who wants to speak to you.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on.
Hello, it's me, Ozzy, the talking duck, quack, quack, quack. Toppie, Smellie, is that you?
Yeah, Ozzy, is that really you?
It's really me, quack, quack, quack. I'm so sorry I didn't get to meet you, quack, quack, quack.
Oh.
I got attacked by some seagulls whilst I was riding on a penny farthing, quack, quack, quack.
Okay, well, I wasn't upset at all. You know, I totally understood. Ozzy, I totally understood, and there's nothing to forgive, and I wasn't angry at all. It's great to be talking with you finally. Maybe someday we'll meet in person, but it's great to be able to talk to you.
I hope so, quack, quack, quack. I think you're my only fan, and I so desperately want to meet you, quack, quack, quack.
Oh, of course you do. Oh, I'm your only fan. You underestimate yourself, my feathered friend. You are probably the best thing that's happened to the Shy Life podcast in a long time.
Yes. Well, it's me again, Paul. We'll get you to meet up properly. definitely before the end of the year.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Ozzy, gee, I can't wait. And I wasn't unhappy at all. I mean, I totally understood. I wasn't cross with you at all. In fact, there was. Anyways, we'll meet up sometime because I know you really do like me.
I do. Quack, quack, quack. I really do.
Okay. Oh, gee. Okay. Bye, Ozzy.
Goodbye. Quack, quack, quack.
Paul, I can't believe it. That was so nice for you to put Ozzy on.
We'll make sure we have a proper meeting. Maybe I should bring him over to Pickle Hollow if that's easier. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
If I can fit him, I don't. Can we? Anyway, we'll work it out.
He can fly.
He can fly. Yeah. Can he fly
under his own power? Though that would be a long trip.
Yeah, it's a long way. But anyway, we'll sort something out.
Okay.
We'll sort it.
And you know what?
What?
My chickens are dying to meet him.
Yes. Oh, that would be perfect then. We'll do it that way round.
Okay. Paul, don't tell him how cross I was. He doesn't need to know.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
Okay. I better go, but
all right. Before you go, happy birthday, 340.
Thank you. Oh dear. I promise we won't mention my birthday again until next year.
Oh, nonsense.
Well, soon anyway.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
okay.
yes,
Bye. Is
so,
that the end? Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Quack, quack, quack.
Ozzy.
What the hell just happened on this show? I mean, seriously, reverse it, because I watched it. What's going on? What happened?
685.
This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
6, 8, 5. Shut up, bird. Stupid bird. Oh, God. 684. 685. 685.
Et voilà.